I'm going to explain to you how you can lose your next 20 pounds in the next couple months. So make sure you pay close attention because I'm going to just quickly go over everything. And then hopefully by the end of watching today's video, you know exactly what you have to do in order to take the next step towards reaching your health and fitness goals. So let's just dive straight into it. By the way, this is my client here, Terry. He's part of my premium program and we've been working together these past couple, I think 6 months now. And he's also over 60 pounds from 200 pounds to 140 pounds. So know that with my methods, you are 100% going to see results. Anyway, let's go into the actual slide. So step number one is you have to figure out what your maintenance calories are. And now before I actually dive into this entire presentation, I just want to assure you that I will be going into much more depth with specific courses and like modules within those courses in my premium Barbarian Squad community. So this is the free community, whereas in the paid community, you'll have access to a lot more things, a lot more in-depth stuff, which I'll talk about a bit later on at the end of today's presentation. But the first step that you need to figure out in order to start losing your body fat is to figure out your maintenance calories, because I want you guys to imagine like a pyramid. So at the base of the pyramid comes your calories. Calories are king. The number of calories you consume will determine whether or not you're going to gain weight or lose weight or maintain your weight, right? It doesn't matter what your macros are, what supplements you take, what else you're doing. Calories are king. Calories, calories, calories. So that's the first thing that you're going to have to figure out. And now the best way to kind of do this, if you go online right now, you can search up online calorie calculators, and there's a bunch of different ones out there. What I found that works best, and is also the most simplest that most of you guys can kind of like understand right away, is simply taking your body weight in pounds and multiplying it by 15. Very simple, right? And so if you weigh 200 pounds, you multiply that by 15, that'll give you 3,000 calories. And now, is this going to be super accurate? No. This will give you a rough estimate of your maintenance calories. And so once you figure this out for yourself, whether you're 140 pounds, 160 pounds, simply take that, multiply by 15, and whatever number that spits out, you're going to have to use some trial and error to see how your weight fluctuates from there. So once you have your number, let's say you're 200 pounds, you get 3,000 calories. I want you guys to use this number and actually consume this amount of calories for the next, I would say, 2 weeks or so, right? And now with that number and with the trial and error, I want you to kind of like keep track of, again, the calories you're consuming, just so 3,000. And at the same time, I want you to also weigh yourself every single morning just to kind of see how your weight fluctuates. So if you notice that if you're eating those 3,000 calories and your weight stays the same at around 200 pounds, congratulations, you have found your maintenance calories, right? Same thing with like any other number that it may spit out. If your weight kind of like stays the same, like it may fluctuate day to day, but the average trend kind of like stays the same over the next couple of weeks or so, then you know that, okay, I have found my maintenance calories. Awesome. This is going to be really, really important because now, once we have found our maintenance calories, it makes everything else so much more simpler. So once you have your maintenance calories, let's say it's 3,000 calories, you're simply going to subtract 500 calories from that to put you in that calorie deficit. And now for some quick context, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So if you want to aim to lose around 1 pound of fat every single week, being in a 500 calorie deficit, so 500 multiplied by 7 is 3,500 calories, you will lose on average around 1 pound of fat per week, right? Which isn't bad at all. If you want to lose 2 pounds, you'd have to be in a 1,000 calorie deficit for the week. You'd have to be in a 7,000 calorie deficit for the week. So that's 1,000 calorie deficit per day. So let's say your maintenance calories is 3,000 and you want to lose 2 pounds a week, then you'd have to be eating around 2,000 calories. But just to make it super simple and also a lot more sustainable and not as difficult, we're just going to put you in a 500 calorie deficit to lose 1 pound a week, right? So that's step one. Now, when it comes to step two, guys, you're going to have to figure out your macros because like I mentioned to you guys, at the base of the pyramids are your calories, but now on the second layer will be your macronutrients. So these includes your proteins, your carbohydrates, and your fats. And each three of these macronutrients have really important roles when it comes to like actually functioning in your body. So as you guys know, protein, most important macronutrient, or they're all equally important, but protein basically helps you not only build the muscle that you're looking for, it also helps repair your muscles from your workout. So protein is going to be super, super important. And so in order to figure out your macros, let's start with your protein. So simple, super simple. When it comes to finding your protein intake, 1 gram per pound of body weight. So super simple. If you weigh around 200 pounds, that's around 200 grams of protein every single day. Now, when it comes to your fats, fats are also going to be really important for your hormones, your libido, your sex drive, your testosterone levels, making sure all of your hormones are nice and healthy. You want to eat a minimum of 0.4 grams per pound of body weight. So again, if you weigh 200 pounds, you take that multiplied by 0.4, you're going to get around 80 grams of fat. And now with the rest of your calories, you're just going to fill them with carbs. Carbs are also really important to help you provide you the energy that you need to not only fuel your workouts, but just fuel your life, whether it's walking around, doing work and stuff. So carbs are also going to be really important. And so as you guys can tell here, 1 gram of protein has 4 calories, 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, and 1 gram of carb has 4 calories. And so again, using the 200-pound meal example, this person needs around 2,500 calories in order to put him in a 500-calorie deficit. His protein intake is going to be 200 grams, his fat intake is going to be 80 grams, and his carb intake is going to be 300 grams of carbs. Step 3, start taking action right away. Now that you've found your calories for the day, you have found your macronutrients, now all you have to do is simply follow those numbers, and you should lose around 1 pound per week. What's going to say for the next 20 weeks for you to lose your next 20 pounds, right? Here's my client Jeff, by the way, who's done the exact same thing, and my client Ryan as well, who's actually lost over 30 pounds now. So just know that as long as you follow those numbers, which again will be different for every single person, you will start losing weight. But now with that said though, you may come across a couple of issues. Actually, a lot of issues, right? Your first question may be, okay, well, now that I've kind of like roughly found like how many calories I need, how many macros I need, how do I actually keep track of this, right? It's like, do I write it down like a pen and paper? Do I just write things down manually? Do I use like a fitness app? Like, what do I do? You guys have probably heard of an app called MyFitnessPal before. This is an app that I use personally and most of my clients as well to keep track of our food intake. But now you're probably wondering like, okay, well, how do I actually use this app, right? Not only that, but how do I keep track of my food accurately? How do I use a food scale to keep track of my food accurately? But now what if I'm like eating out, like let's say I really enjoy eating out on the weekends, for example, can I still do that while losing my body fat? What if my mom cooks my dinners for me? Or what if my wife cooks dinners for me? What if I have no idea what's like inside of my food? How do I keep track of that? What if I go over my calories, right? Let's say I need to eat 2,500 calories, but what if I go over one day? Like what should I be doing the very next day in order to like make up for that? What if I'm no longer losing weight, right? Because plateaus unfortunately do happen pretty often when it comes to either building muscle or losing weight. And so what should I do when I do hit that plateau, right? What if I am losing all my motivation? And what if I just want more guidance, right? These are some pretty common troubleshooting things that a lot of people do kind of face on their fat loss journey. And so there's 2 solutions to this actually. So the first solution is you can actually join the Barbarian Squad, which is our premium group, which you can join through the link down below. Now, like I mentioned, this is our premium group and you'll have access to all of our courses. And like I explained to you guys at the beginning, I just really quickly, really vaguely outlined like your calories, your macros and stuff. But in my premium course, I have an entire course and also I think like 20 modules on everything you need to know to figure all this stuff out on your own, right? Like in depth on, okay, how do I actually accurately figure out my calories, right? Like how many calories do I actually need? What should specifically my macros be? How do I overcome plateaus? If I do hit a plateau, how should I make adjustments? If I want to eat out, how can I still keep track of my food when I eat out? What if my mom cooks dinners for me, right? Like how can I keep track of that? How can I actually start using my MyFitnessPal to keep track of my food accurately? How do I actually use a food scale? So all of these things I will be discussing in, honestly, a lot of detail in my premium group. So that's definitely something you can consider. On top of that as well, guys, you get access to my live group calls. So we have 3 group calls every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Basically, you get to hang out with me, chit chat, ask me live questions regarding literally anything. It doesn't just have to be fitness related, although that's where my expertise lies. Some people also ask me about like social media stuff, like how did I grow such a big following, or like some dating advice, which I honestly cannot give you much, but I do have a lot of people ask me that. And then also you get access to me daily. So you can ask me questions in the group, and then basically if it's a really good question, I'll make like a completely separate video on that. I'll pretty much make an entire presentation just to answer your question, and I'll post it to the group so everyone can get value out of that, right? So you have access to all of that in the Barbarian Squad. So the link is down below if you guys do want to join that for just more accountability, more knowledge, and just like more access to me and just better results basically. And now the last option as well is that, okay, all of this sounds amazing, Cohnan, but what if I'm just too lazy to do all of that? What if I just want to like put in the work without having to think about like what workouts I should be doing, how often I should work out, how to progress with my workouts, how much food I should be eating, what foods I should be eating, should I follow a meal plan, like all this stuff, right? The last option you have is you can actually apply for my one-on-one coaching program. So you can basically book a free consult call with me, which is also linked down below. And we can kind of like discuss your fitness goals and also see if you'd be a good fit for my premium one-on-one coaching program. And then if you are a good fit and you do apply for that, then I will basically take care of everything for you. So you don't have to worry about like figuring out your own calories, your own macros, your own workouts, any of that stuff, because I'll pretty much be doing all of that for you. I'll be providing you with your own meal plan, your own macros, your own calories. I will be making adjustments every single week if and when we have to. I'll be taking care of your workout program, your workout split, your frequency, and then also we'll be doing one-on-one weekly live check-in calls as well, just to make sure that we're on the right track and see if we gotta make any changes or tweaks to your program for us to continue making the progress that you're looking for, right? So that's all that I have for you guys for this quick little video, but hopefully you guys did take some nuggets out of this. As always, guys, if you do have any questions for me, please drop them down below, and I'm super pumped to have you part of this group. And yeah, I'll see y'all soon. Peace. Now, if you want to be around a community of like-minded people just like yourself who will educate you, motivate you, and inspire you to absolutely demolish your health and fitness goals, come join the Barbarian Squad down below. I guarantee you, you will not regret it one single bit, and I'll see you inside.